Hi guys, my name is Katie and welcome to this Key Stage 2 English video for colons and semicolons. Now in this video I'm going to take some practice questions and information from our Key Stage 2 English Grammar, Punctuation and Spelling Guide, which you can buy and download via the following link below this video. So make sure that you check that out after this video. And that book contains these superhero characters to make learning fun for you and your child. Okay, so let's get straight into it. So what are colons? So colons are another punctuation mark that you will need to learn. So this punctuation mark consists of two dots, one above the other. They are a great way to introduce new information in list formats. So list formats, if you're introducing a list, then you can use a colon to break up the sentence with that list. So here is an example of what a colon looks like. So for example, the following ingredients are needed to make chocolate brownies. So you would use a semicolon there and then introduce your list. So then you've got 400 grams of caster sugar, 225 grams of melted butter, 60 grams of cocoa powder, 4 eggs, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 225 grams of plain flour, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and half a teaspoon of salt. So you would use that colon to introduce your list. So a colon should only be used if it follows the main clause of a sentence. So for example, if the above passage started with I need, this would not need a colon because I need is not a main clause, okay? So as well as list formats, you can also position a colon before you write a list of bullet points, okay? So the following ingredients are needed to make chocolate brownies. So you'd put the colon there and then you would begin your bullet points. And this is a very clear way of highlighting a list that you are trying to demonstrate in your writing. So introducing explanation. So colons can also be used in sentences to break up the sentence. They work similarly to a comma, but the two sentences have to be about the same thing. So the first part of the sentence needs to make sense as a stand-alone sentence. And the second part after the colon provides more information about the first part of the sentence. Okay, so here are some examples. So Mikey has a dilemma, colon, he can't remember where he put his homework. So the colon is used to emphasize the main clause, which is the first bit here, and then adding extra information afterwards. So here is the second example. So some people love football, colon, other people can't stand it. So this part, the second part of the sentence, it wouldn't make sense without the first part of the sentence, okay? So you would have the main clause followed by a less serious clause, but it just provides extra information to the first part of the sentence. Okay, so let's move on to what are semicolons, okay? So semicolons consist of one full stop positioned above a comma. So there are two main reasons to use a semicolon. So this is to break up longer lists and break up two closely related main clauses. Okay, so breaking up longer lists. So like colons, semicolons can be used to break up lists. However, you would use a semicolon instead if the list consisted of longer sentences. So you need to put a semicolon before the and or the or, which joins the last two things on that list. So here is what a semicolon looks like. So you've got the full stop positioned above a comma. So for example, so if you go to the shop, can you get me half a dozen of eggs, semicolon, a pint of milk, semicolon, 3 loaves of bread, semicolon, a chocolate bar, colon, and a box of tea bags. So breaking up two closely related main clauses, so you can join two sentences together with the use of a semicolon. So these two sentences will talk about the same subject and will be equally important. So you could separate the two sentences with a full stop and they would both still make sense. So Ollie was really tired, semicolon, Marcus wanted to play. So if you change the semicolon here and added a full stop, both of these sentences would still make sense, okay? So for our second example, James played football at break time, Daniel played rugby. Again, so both sentences would make sense if you replace the semicolon with a full stop. So here is a quick practice question for you to try out, okay? So make sure you have a blank piece of paper and a pen at hand. Okay, so for the following sentences, insert a semicolon or a colon in the correct places. More than one punctuation mark may be required, okay? We went to the zoo, we saw lions, monkeys, penguins, giraffes and loads more. The teacher was impressed, I scored top marks on a pop quiz. Marlon was terrified, he hated going to the doctors. Parents' Day had almost finished, teachers were about to bring around teas and coffees. And finally, the football tournament was really competitive. I don't think we will get far in the competition. Okay, so write these sentences out on your piece of paper and then insert a semicolon or a colon in the place where you think it is needed. And why don't you write your answers in the comments box below this video, and you can submit your answers and I will check them for you to see if you've got them right, okay? So make sure that you submit your answers in the comments box below. So if you finished answering those questions, make sure you check the answers, and I'm going to give you the answers now. So if you haven't finished, make sure you pause this video and finish the answers before I give you the answers, okay? So let's show you the answers. So for the first sentence, a colon will need to be positioned between the words saw and lion. So we went to the zoo and we saw lions, monkeys, penguins, giraffes and loads more, because this is introducing your list of animals that you've seen. Next, the teacher was impressed, colon, I scored top marks on a pop quiz. Marlon was terrified, he hated going to the doctors. Parents' Day had almost finished, semicolon, teachers were about to bring around teas and coffees, okay? So this is your main clause and this is just adding extra information, so you would use a semicolon. Finally, the football tournament was really competitive, semicolon, I don't think we will get far in the competition. So that is the answers for this practice question. So let's have a look at our final practice question. So in the following sentences, put a tick across if the colon or semicolon has been used correctly. So Peter couldn't go swimming, he forgot his swimming shorts. I love the thought of living by the sea, maybe I will one day. I am so excited, the concert is next month. On our road trip, my dad drove, I watched a film on my laptop and my brother fell asleep. So for these sentences, you've got to put a tick across whether the colon or semicolon has been used correctly. Okay, so like you did for the previous question, write these sentences out loud on a piece of paper, and make sure you put a tick or cross if you think the colon or semicolon has been used correctly. And don't forget to submit your answers again in this video, and I can double check to see how well you are understanding colons and semicolons. So for those of you that have finished your answers, let's have a look at the actual answers. Okay, so the first one is incorrect. So this semicolon should be a colon, okay? Peter couldn't go swimming, he forgot his swimming shorts. This is just adding extra information to the first part, so this would need to be a colon. Again, the second sentence is incorrect. So I love the thought of living by the sea. Maybe I will one day. I am so excited, the concert is next month. This is correct. On our road trip, my dad drove, I watched a film on my laptop and my brother fell asleep. And again, this uses semicolons correctly. So that's it for this video on colons and semicolons. Don't forget to check out my other videos for English and for maths to really help you improve your understanding on those subjects. And don't forget to look at the link below where you can get your own copy of our Key Stage 2 English is Easy guide. And for more practice questions and information on Key Stage 2 grammar, punctuation and spelling, don't forget to visit www.howtobecome.com where we'll provide lots more information and products for you to purchase. Thank you for watching, I hope this has helped and I wish you the very best of luck.